back and I'm making some of the final items that are going to go into these tag albums. I needed to add some kind of journaling cards for the belly bands and some of the tucks where the tags didn't quite fit or didn't seem to fit very nicely. So I have some extra pieces of this music paper and I'm going to make two kind of narrow journaling cards. These are both going to go into the belly bands of the tag album. And I'm just trying to figure out which one of these I like the best. I decided I wanted to use kind of a vertical design. I was at first thinking, oh, you can just turn to the side and I can use a horizontal, but I just didn't like how that looked. Now these cards are a little bit big and I wanted to show more of that music paper around the edges of them. So I am going to trim down each of these fussy cut images here just with my, I think my ruler, I can't remember. I might have actually ended up using something else because I'm not sure if this is going to tear very well. Oh, it does. Never mind. I lied. We're going to use the ruler. So I'm just going to tear this down. I like the look of kind of the ragged edge, and I believe I trimmed them out this way in the first place when I've cut them out initially. And now I like that a little bit better because it does show a little bit more of the um, music paper on the edge. So just taking just the slightest little bit off. I'm using my mat to kind of make sure I do a semi-straight line here. And this is just my Tim Holtz ruler. I really need a new ruler. I love this Tim Holtz ruler, but um, the edge is getting a little bit dull for doing this kind of thing to it. Um, I've seen Roxy Creation. She uses some Rachel at Roxy Creation. She uses this little cute um, plastic ruler that she got from I think like AliExpress or something like that, and it had even like a deckled edge to it. But it's not something you can just go out and find. It just she happened upon it. She didn't even mean to get a ruler with a deckled edge, and it just happened. But that would have been a perfect because it's just kind of nice and small. It'd be nice for this kind of stuff, but I may have to keep my eye out for something like that. I don't order from AliExpress very often. I try to kind of avoid those kind of websites. Sometimes I've done Temu maybe like once or twice, but I don't know. I don't feel very good about ordering from those sites, but I mean, it is cheap. It's good. I usually, when I try to order from those sites, I order things that are like not like a Tim Holtz brand or like some knockoff. It's most like more generic stuff, but I don't know. It just seems scammy, skeevy, kind of weird to me. But sometimes people can't afford to buy like expensive things and things like that. So I have no problem with people getting on those websites. I just personally, it's just not my favorite websites to use. But anyway, so back to the little project. I want to add a little bit of color down here. Now I know I'm going to be covering up more of this music paper, which again is something I didn't necessarily want to cover up too much, but I was worried about the stability of these because the music paper is so brittle. And I'm not going to cover the back. I figured if I can cover most of the front, then the back will stay pretty nice without feeling like it's going to kind of fall apart. So I'm using this really pretty pattern paper from Roxy Creations. Just going to trim that out. I glued it down. I'll trim off that excess here in a little bit. And then I'm going to use this cute green and white paper for this one. I thought that looked nice with the manger. And I'm going to cut it or trim it just the way I just did with the kind of pinky red paper. And I'll ink it the same way. And like I mentioned, these are going to go in like the belly band of the little tag albums. Going to ink around the edge of this one, glue it down, and trim it up. And then I am going to ink around the edges of this paper, and I will trim out kind of the corners. I kind of like sometimes when I have just a square piece, trimming out the edges. I think Roxy does that, or I keep saying Roxy, Rachel from Roxy Creations does it a lot. And it's kind of funny. You wouldn't think like snipping off the edges or the corners of this paper would make a big deal or make a big difference, but for some reason it just really finishes it off. I guess it's kind of the same thing I feel about inking. Inking just seems to finish off some of these. That's why I do inking all the time. And snipping the edges, I don't know, it gives it a whole different look for some reason, which I just think is kind of funny. You wouldn't think something so simple would be so impactful, but I don't know. It just kind of just I don't know. I don't know. It just doesn't. It gives it a more finished look. I don't know. I don't like the real squared off edges. I guess I don't know. I'm not sure. I just like it. Sometimes you just don't know why you like things, but you do. So I'm going to kind of show you what these look like, and then I'm going to go back to live talking, and then I will be back with a voiceover here in just a little bit. All right, I have finished all the tags for the two little tag journals, and I'm going to go ahead and fill the journals now. These two that are skinnier, I did make for the belly bands because it was a little bit thinner, and I just wanted a different shape as well. The paper here is very, very, very fragile, so I'm a little worried about it cracking and things.
So I haven't decided if I'm going to leave it like this. I would like to maybe back it, but it's just so pretty on the back. So I may just leave it as is. It'll just kind of add to the charm of it, I guess. But yeah, I just really like this shape. So these are going to go into the belly bands on these, hopefully. Make sure they're going to fit. So I'm going to slide those in here. And then I should have a belly band on this one as well. Just got to find it. Maybe. Oh, you know what? Did I not do a belly band on this one? Oh, yes, I did. I thought I did. Just, it was camouflaged. So that's going to tuck in here. And so then what we're going to do is we're going to add the tags to the different albums. I have 3 with the green top and 3 with the tan. So I want to mix it up. What I'll do is I'll put 1 or so of each in each album or each little tag album. So I'll put Santa in here. That's Santa right there. So let's skip that and stick this in here. So that fits in nice and snug. I'll put the angels here. And then on the back side, I will put, I think I'm going to put Santa. I kind of think I want him here kind of peeking out. Actually, no, because it's got this tuck. It won't fit quite so nice. So I'll have just Santa peeking out of this pocket here. And so I do have 2 more pockets to fill, so I still have to decide how I'm going to do those. I might do tags. I might do something different. I really do like the shape that I used here, so I might do something similar to this. So I'll kind of play it by ear, but right now I'm just going to fill this with the tags that I have created. So we got Santa over here. I think he will look good right here. Hopefully you guys can see. Hopefully it fits. There we go. Tuck him in. I'll put the little girl right here in this tuck. And then I'll stick the other one on the back in this little corner pocket here. So far the album is looking pretty cute. I really like how it's coming together. So we have the tag here. We have an open space here that I still need to add a journaling card, another tag, and then you come over here. This is the belly band. Flip it over and you have another open pocket, the tag, and then the front. And then this one is very similar, obviously. You have the tag here. We have another tag here, and then the belly band. And on the back side, we have the tuck, the pocket here with the tag in it. We have another opening here that we can still add another card to. And then that is it. So we have 2 blank spots on either side. So I still want to kind of figure out what's going to go there. Oh, and I don't know if I showed this, but what I ended up doing with this one here is I ended up having like a corner tuck here. But then I also made this little guy so that you can open the corner here and then journal on the inside. So I thought that was just kind of fun. I did some stenciling there and I just did this little tuck so it wouldn't get crushed by the edge here. And then this just tucks into that corner. So just something a little bit fun that I did that I think I added since I showed this on video. So anyway, that's how those are coming along. I have to make about 4 more items to stick in here and then these will be ready. So thanks for joining me and I hope you are liking the process so far, and I'll be back shortly with hopefully the rest of the tags or journaling cards.
I'm back with some more tags and journaling cards. I was going to end the video there, but I thought, well, I didn't have a lot in this video. It was pretty short already, so I figured why not stick the last couple of journaling cards on the end of this particular video. So now I'm going to be taking some pattern paper that I have in my stash and making some cards. I'm going to use the scrap paper. I like using some of these pieces up there from some albums I worked on last year, I think. And I really, really like this snowflake. And then I also like the other side. So I'm going to cut out 3 pieces, I think, from this paper and utilize both sides of this paper. It's nice that it is double-sided. And I'm just looking to see how I can cut it out so I don't get some weird shapes or images in the back where I cut too much of an image off. So that's why I'm kind of flipping it around here, trying to figure out what's going to work the best. And I end up deciding to just do it here. And then when you flip it over, you'll be able to get some of that poinsettia in there. And I do like how that looks. And I think I end up doing the collaging and stuff on the back side of that. And here I'm going to do the same kind of the same thing, just trim off some pieces, make it the same size. And then I'm going to have that poinsettia in the background. This is a nice way to use up your scraps too if you have a lot of scraps. Just playing around to make sure I'm gonna cut it the right way and not chop off something I don't want. So I'm gonna face these different directions, trying to figure out what side I want to do the collaging on and what side I want to have for journaling. I have this paper here that I'm going to be cutting out also to add some more little journal cards. I think I get another 2 or 3 cards out of this. I can't quite remember. Just trimming this down on my trimmer. And again, playing with it, trying to figure out which is the best way to turn or twist it to get the best image out of it and not have an awkward cutoff. And the back of this is white, so I will have to back this paper. This is more of a copy paper. So just trimming this up. I do not want to waste any paper, which is kind of silly because it is a printable. I can just reprint it again, but I don't like to waste. So I'm just being very careful about how I'm trimming it out so I don't waste any more paper than I have to. This one's going to be a little bit smaller just because of the amount of paper I had left, but that's fine. I don't mind, and I'd rather use it than not use it at all. So I'm going to glue these onto this coffee paper. It's either coffee or tea dyed paper, actually. And this will be a nice base and give it a background. You can also stencil if you didn't have coffee paper. You can add another piece of digital on the other back side. You can definitely double-sided print this paper as well. I just had this in my stash, so I didn't have it double-sided for the project I was working on last year. So I'm just going to mount this onto the coffee paper. Plus, it gives it a little bit more stability. It is copy paper, so it's not super stable for a tag. So having it on the coffee paper just gives it some more stiffness, and it just fits into the journal a little bit better and slides into and out of the pockets. So using my credit card or key card here just to smooth everything out, and then I'll trim this out. And these are going to stay this shape. I do not cut them into tag shapes. I liked the kind of rectangle shape of these, so I will keep them this way. And I'll just trim them out with my scissors. So now I'm just finishing that up here, throwing away my extra little pieces of paper, and now trying to decide what I'm going to do as far as collaging on each of these. Like I have now, I think I have 5 of these that I'm going to be working on, maybe 6. Oh yeah, I'm going to do 6 because I'm going to pull out some of this paper here. I want to decide about using collaging. I think I'm going to collage with this music paper on these 2 cards. It is super fragile and I just really like it, and I had some extra pieces, so I figured why not. I'm just going to add this as kind of the base for where my die cuts and different things are going to be added on top. I believe I use glue stick to glue this down as well. I'm just searching to see here what else I want to put on. I am going to use one of these pieces. This is from the Tracy Fox Love Junk Journal kit. I'm going to at least do one of these, and I'm going to pull this other one out as well. So the little bird is definitely an image that's on one of the tags, but this green paper is different than what is on the tag, so I thought that'd be nice to add that to one of the albums. And this bird is just super cute, so I couldn't resist using him. And I'm going to cut them out, ink up the edges, and then I'm going to use them as part of the layering elements. Tapping my finger, trying to figure out what I'm going to do next. I felt like this was just looking a little bit too blendy, so I thought having this green piece of paper would help separate some of the images from the background. And I think it helps a little bit. It's pretty subtle, but I thought it was a little bit nice of a texture to add to it. Here I'm going to go through and pick out a fussy cut image that's going to work well. I think I end up picking something that says December 25th, if I remember correctly. We shall see here in just a few minutes. Oh, no, maybe I use that on a different image. So I'm going to use these little bells and wreath. I forgot to cut out the middle when I cut these out originally, so I'm just going to do that right now real quick. And I will ink around the edges of everything. Using my vintage photo, that's my favorite distress ink. Again, mostly to just get rid of those white edges. I don't like the white edges. Being very, 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 very careful on the music paper because it is just like crumbling in my hands. It's kind of hard to tell on video, but it's super crumbly. Now I'm going to assemble everything with some glue stick. I love collaging. I don't know if you guys like collaging too, but it's really fun. It's very therapeutic. I just like finding all the pieces. Another thing that's really fun to do is make those kind of vision boards. Not a vision board, what is it called? Like a master board, I think people call it, where you just take paper, like maybe like the glue pages or something like that, and then just add paper on top of that. And then what I like to do is, cut it out and you can use it for tags and things like that. It's just really nice because if you make a big piece of paper and then cut it into smaller pieces, it seems like the collage just seems a little more organic. When you try to collage just on one piece by itself, sometimes it doesn't feel, like I said, kind of organic. But I love making those like master boards and then cutting them up. So that's another idea too for like something like this. I could have made a master board. I'm just going to trim off the corners here just to give it a little more finished look. And then I will ink around all the edges. So I think those turned out really super cute. And the back side is going to be perfect for journaling. I thought it'd be fun to add a little bit of texture, so I'm going to pull out this snowflake stencil and add just a little bit. I don't want to add too much, just something subtle for the background. I thought it was a little bit kind of plain on the back. I thought it would be nice, and you can still journal on this with no problem. And I think that turned out really cute. I just like that. It's just a little bit of something. Yeah. So I like how that turned out. I like the texture. It's just very, very, very subtle. Thought I need just a little bit more, so I'm going to add a little bit here and there. And then this card's going to be done. So there are those. Next, I'm going to work on the other ones I had cut out at the very beginning. These are the ones with the snowflakes on the back. Just trying to figure out if I want to use the front or back side for the collage. I'm going to pull out some scraps of paper and collage. Again, just adding a base first, and then I will add some die cuts on top. And for this one, I'm going to put the paper at the top of the tag, and I think the other one I'm going to put towards the bottom. Inking those white edges, and then I will pick out the die cuts or the fussy cuts that I'm going to be using. So he's a little bit too big to use. I really like the Santa a lot, so I think I'm going to be using him. I like how he's in blue instead of red. I think that's kind of fun. And I like this image of like the snow scene. So I thought these are perfect for these two tags. Inking around these guys as well. Again, just kind of blending it in. I don't like those white edges. And then I'm going to glue everything down. And this time I am going to use my glue stick. And I can't remember if I use my glue stick for the little fussy cuts or not. I think I do. You can use glue stick, art glitter glue. Either one will work. It's a copy paper, so it goes down very nicely and it sticks very well. I don't worry about it when it's copy paper. This Uhu glue is pretty nice. I'm really thinking about using the Pritt stick. I've seen a lot of people using the Pritt stick. Uhu is nice. It's kind of, I don't know, thickish, which I guess is good and helps stick, but I don't know. Sometimes I have problems like with it gliding across the paper very nicely, and it doesn't maybe seem to coat the paper quite as well because it is kind of more thick, so it leaves more like air pockets of non-glued area. I don't know. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think about glue sticks and things like that. What is your favorite glue stick to use if you guys use glue sticks? I'd love to hear from you guys and see what you guys like to use. Inking everything up. Really like how these turned out. Super cute. I'm going to add a little bit more to the back of these, I believe. I thought they were fun. There's some good space for journaling, but I don't want to add some more layering here. So I'm going to take some more of the music paper, add to this poinsettia card. I'm going to do a little bit more on the right one as well. Here's the die cut pack from 49th and Main. This ticket's really cute. I'm also going to pull out another little fussy cut image here in a couple seconds. At first I thought I was going to do the ticket only, but I thought it just didn't look like it was quite enough, so I'm going to pull out a fussy cut image and add it for another layer. Just smoothing it down. I think I had some little clumps of glue in there, so I'm smoothing it down with that key card. Adding some liquid glue to the ticket. That's more of a cardstock, so I like the liquid glue. Of course, my liquid glue is not coming out. I think this is the day that I left the pin out like for like 3 days in a row or something crazy like that. Not a good idea. The good thing is the hole is small, so the glue doesn't seem to dry up quite as bad, but it still dries up, so you gotta be careful. You don't want to do that. I'm going to add a little inking to this as well, just because I did wrap it around. And that one turned out super cute. And like I said, I am going to add just a little bit more to that here in a little bit. There's that little thing with a bow on it. It's super cute, and I just like how it has, I don't know, it just gives a little extra texture. I wanted to put it under there, but it's already too glued down. That art glitter glue, once it's down, it's down. Glue stick, you have a little more time to play with it, but that art glitter glue, there's no moving it once you stick that down for the most part. I'm going to trim off a little bit more white edge. It was just kind of bothering me for some reason. And then I will glue this little piece down. So that one is now done. And I'm looking through to see if I want to add anything else. I think I'm going to pull out a little circle number, I think it is, possibly. Yeah. Oh, no, I am going to add one more thing. A circle, it says believe. I felt like I just wanted to layer this one up for some reason. So I'm going to add ink around the edges. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm wrapping it up here. I'm going to ink on this just because it looked a little too white for me. I'm going to glue that down. And then I will be back soon here to, I think I have one more part of this album. So I think there's a part 4. I will show you the finished piece and everything put together. So thank you guys so much for joining me. If you're enjoying the video, please give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed already, I'd love to have you as a subscriber. And I will be back again soon with the final part of this video series. Thank you. Bye-bye.